Breaking overnight, a crash at 64 km per hour inside the final 400 meters of Tour de France Stage 12 has thrown the entire 2026 season into chaos. Fernando Gaviria is out with a fractured collarbone. Tom Pidcock walked away unscathed. And what that means for the general classification is something nobody in the peloton saw coming. The official race ledger in Chalon-sur-Saône now separates confirmed medical updates from tactical fallout. While Tim Merlier officially secured the Stage 12 victory, the medical bulletins document a damaging aftermath. Kaya Rural confirmed Gaviria's left clavicle is broken, forcing an immediate exit. Uno ex-sprinter Soren Weirensjold is undergoing concussion monitoring under the SCAT-5 protocol, while Dorian Godin of net company Ineos escaped with minor contusions. For Tom Pidcock, the outlook is positive. His team confirmed he will start tomorrow, reporting no serious injuries. Because the impact occurred well inside the final kilometre, race officials applied standard safety zone protocols, leaving the overall times completely unaffected. No immediate disciplinary actions or penalties were issued by the UCI jury. Tom Pidcock entered Stage 12 positioned well inside the top 20 of the general classification, a standing built on resilience during a punishing opening week. Just 3 days earlier, on Stage 9, the British rider proved his elite Tour form on a day altered by a severe heatwave. Despite a mechanical failure that disrupted his final sprint, he crossed the line immediately behind Mathieu van der Poel and Tobias Johannesson. That mechanical failure cost him a genuine opportunity for a second career Tour stage victory, leaving both the rider and his team with a sense of unfinished business. The physical and mental toll of this Grand Tour had already reached a high level. Operating under intense pressure, Pidcock was fighting to balance individual stage hunting with his team's broader general classification ambitions. The intense heat, combined with the chaotic nature of the high-speed flat stages, meant every single kilometre demanded absolute concentration. When the Stage 12 crash occurred, it did not strike a fresh rider. It hit a competitor already carrying the accumulated fatigue of mechanical setbacks and defensive riding. With the general classification standings temporarily preserved by the safety zone rule, the focus shifts to tactical leverage. For Pidcock, surviving this latest incident with his top 20 position intact keeps his campaign alive, but the margin for error has narrowed. In elite road cycling, physical recovery is heavily tied to mental composure, and the pressure on his support riders to shield him through the upcoming mountain stages has just intensified. As the peloton accelerated toward the line, GPS tracking data shows the field entered the final 400 meters at roughly 64 kilometers per hour. At this speed, reaction times are measured in milliseconds. The course layout routed the race through 3 technical roundabouts inside the last 2 kilometers, forcing the lead-out trains to repeatedly compress, expand, and fight for track space. This compression peaked as the road narrowed into a 7-meter-wide finish corridor. While this width complies with the minimum standards set by the International Federation for World Tour sprints, it leaves almost no margin for correction when multiple lead-out trains operate abreast. Because public power telemetry and wind tunnel data were not shared by the teams, the causal sequence remains strictly tied to the high-definition broadcast footage. Slow-motion replays show a rider on the left side of the road clipping a teammate's rear wheel. The initial contact caused a violent wobble, locking the front wheel and sliding the bike into the center of the road. At 64 km per hour, this sudden deceleration became an instant kinetic chain. With the road restricted to 7 meters and flanked by metal barriers, following riders had no lateral escape routes, turning a single wheel clip into a mass domino effect. The decision by the race jury to apply the 3-kilometer safety zone protocol means the battle for the yellow jersey remains intact. By neutralizing the overall time gaps while allowing the sprint victory to stand, officials prevented a chaotic sprint crash from rewriting the general classification standings before the race even reaches the mountains. For Tom Pidcock, this administrative ruling is a massive competitive lifeline. Instead of plummeting down the standings and slipping into defensive recovery mode, the British rider retains his spot inside the top 20. His campaign remains viable, entirely protected from the mechanical and physical wreckage that took down his rivals. Now Pidcock faces 2 starkly different paths. The best-case scenario is that this survival acts as a springboard, giving him a clean slate to mount a genuine general classification push as the high climbs approach. The worst-case scenario is that the Tour simply moves past this lucky escape, leaving him struggling to match the pure climbers once the road ramps upward, rendering the moment a temporary reprieve rather than a turning point. Cycling history is filled with moments where a single late-stage disruption reset team expectations overnight. During the 2021 Tour de France, early-stage crashes instantly forced teams like Jumbo-Visma to shift from chasing stage wins to scrambling for overall survival. For Pidcock and his squad, the preservation of his time means their tactical playbook remains open, but the margin for error in the high peaks has officially disappeared. Soudal Quickstep leaves Chalon-sur-Saône with the most significant commercial gain of the day, securing maximum brand visibility on a global stage. Tim Merlier's victory delivers immediate television exposure for his sponsors, justifying the Belgian team's heavy investment in flat-stage finishes. Conversely, Caja Rural Seguros RGA faces a sharp drop in media value. Losing Fernando Gaviria to a broken collarbone dismantles their primary sprint project, instantly reducing the wildcard team's broadcast visibility and future race invitations. Meanwhile, Tom Pidcock's survival heightens his status as the marketable center of the race. With his general classification standing intact, broadcasters inherit a fresh, unpredictable story arc to frame across the Tour feed, replacing predictable sprint profiles with a drama of tactical recovery. This survival keeps his sponsors, including Pinarello, at the center of the race broadcast, where sustained airtime translates directly into brand value. The commercial engine of the Tour relies on these narratives of survival to sustain global sponsor interest and fan engagement over 3 grueling weeks, turning physical resilience into valuable commercial power in a highly competitive sports market, or merely surviving on borrowed time. While Lotto Intermarché cleared him to start, his physical response on the road dictates his actual threshold. Ongoing medical monitoring will determine how aggressively he can handle the high-speed descents and steep ramps ahead. Beyond one rider's survival, this late-stage pileup in Chalon-sur-Saône immediately restarts the broader, unresolved debate over rider safety. Historically, high-speed crashes inside the final kilometre push teams to systematically overhaul their approach. In the coming days, direct rivals will adjust their lead-out positioning, shifting away from the narrow 7-metre-wide finish corridors that leave no margin for error. Although the UCI's formal Safety Commission reviews can take months to issue official recommendations, the immediate tactical environment has already shifted. Teams are actively reassessing risk, choosing to shield their general classification leaders rather than contesting chaotic flat-stage finishes. The tone of this Tour has changed instantly, proving that a single split-second collision can reshape the competitive hierarchy long before the race even enters the high mountains. Today, the road to Paris is entirely redrawn. As Pidcock's sudden general classification campaign begins, rival teams must rewrite their million-dollar strategies overnight. This chaos reminds us that cycling's ultimate prize is never won on paper.